Hi, I'm Jack Baruzzini, and you're listening to The Secrets of Stargate, where we talk about the hidden meanings and deeper layers found in the Stargate movies, TV series, and more. And joining me today are Father Cory Sticha. Hi, Father.
Howdy, Jack.
And Lisa Jones. Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Jack.
And Victor Lambs. Hey, Victor.
Hi, Jack.
And today we are discussing the 6th episode of Season 5, Rite of Passage. Teenage Angst. When Cassie's first kiss causes light bulbs to explode and her to fall mysteriously ill, SG-1 travels back to the planet Hanka to discover that Nirti has been experimenting on the population to find a way to grow herself a perfect human host. Nirti, now free after the death of Kronos, infiltrates the SGC while cloaked but is captured. She offers to cure Cassie in return for her freedom and her cloaking device. After some deliberation, General Hammond agrees to the exchange, Cassie is cured, and Nirti goes free. To be continued, I assume. Yeah,
that's it.
That's pretty
the
much
episode.
it. Yep.
Thanks for joining us. No.
Yeah. I had a hard time writing the summary for this one because it's like 3 sentences. There's a lot of. I like this episode because it feels like it's more character focused, but there's not a lot of stuff that happens.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah, we get to see Janet be a lot more strong in this one.
Oh
definitely.
yeah,
but yeah, there's not a lot of action. It's a lot of talking about things that are going on in the SGC, going into Nirti's base, going back to SGC, and Nirti following them.
I want to know, so they have all their protocols at this point. Now they're going to have to make sure that no cloaked people come through. It's just that laundry list of things they got to do. Just keep adding to it.
Well, we thought they already had that. We thought they had the Rite devices already scanning them as they came through the gate. Apparently it missed Nirti until they went to look for her, and then they found her.
Yeah.
Maybe it was that guy's day off or something.
Yeah.
Someone goes, it's been 4 years. Just let's not do that
We're
one
good.
anymore.
Yeah.
That sounds like something that would happen in a government facility, actually.
Yeah.
But then when they needed the the little Rite detectors, they had them. Yeah, the TERs, the TERs, they had them really handy and stuff. So that was cool to see that again.
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah. So what were your thoughts on this episode, Father?
I did like it. I mean, it wasn't more of an character development, emotional episode, but it was still a pretty good one. Even with Cassie definitely being a typical teen plus,
A little extra sparky.
Yeah, she was a real birthday girl.
Yeah,
at the beginning there.
Nice.
Well, the sparks are flying.
Yep.
I feel like her boyfriend's gonna have some trauma now and never want to kiss a girl again.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that.
What about you, Lisa?
When this episode came out, I didn't have kids, and so watching it now with teens, young adults, it kind of gave me a different perspective, a little close to home. I mean, we don't have sparks flying, but the teenage angst and the eye roll and so I felt like that was very on point. The little argument in the kitchen, but I really liked it. I like that they brought back Cassie, that we got to see her again, and they brought her back, not just 1969 where she's in the future and sends them home, but, it kind of completes her story in a way that, you bring Nirti back. So I really like that. So we talk a lot about all the things they never touch back on. And here they did it, and they did it in a good way, in my opinion. I like to see Janet Fraser have more development, and her going full mama bear was kind of fun. And then seeing Sam being the, aunt, they played chess and, so that was kind of fun. But I like Nirti. I don't know why, but I always have kind of liked her because she's, I don't know if it's mysterious or that she's bad or she's just different than Apophis and all those other guys. Maybe because she's a woman. I don't know, but I just liked her. So I like that they let her go.
Yeah.
We get to see her again. Not that too much in the future. She's going to come back and they're going to oh, darn. But no.
She's not the mustache twirling villain that Apophis and those are. She is a little more subtle in her villainy.
Yeah. Yeah, she has a long-term plan to this, not just let me steal you now to, be my queen or whatever, like Apophis. So
much more conniving.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Victor?
Yeah, I like Nerty as well, or as Jack calls her at one point, Nerdy. But and I think a lot of it is just down to Jacqueline Samuta's performance. It's got some nuance and some depth in it, which a lot of the other Gould actors don't really bring to it, or are directed not to bring to it. So I do like that. I like Janet Fraser pulling the gun on her, and then Hammond's line, at that point was very nice. I like that moment. Yeah, I like the lab too. There's a lot of really cool looking alien lab equipment in her lab as well. Yeah, I think it's it's a good episode. And then, the resolution where we don't really know what would have happened if it had, been allowed to play out. Certainly Nirti didn't think that Cassandra was going to become a Haktar, an advanced human. Otherwise she would have, just let it happen. But it is kind of like one of those moments like, well, we'll never really know, what Cassandra could have become in that moment. And yeah, I don't know why, they just, why they kept their word to Nirti at the end, because, she's basically says, oh yeah, I'm going to go to another planet and torture a bunch of other kids and then potentially release a deadly toxin that completely wipes out their world. I know why they did it for dramatic reasons, but realistically they would have said, ha, thank you. And now getting the whole, but yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering about that. Like, she really had to trust them at that point, because they could have just gone back on it. And I mean, I get, you don't want your lead characters to straight up lie to someone and not keep their word, but also from a realistic and practical level, you're not going to let a supervillain go free.
Well, and to be fair, she really didn't trust them. It was more like the only thing she trusted them was that they weren't going to let Janet Fraser kill her.
Shoot her, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I think Janet would have.
that scene was so great, though, where she's holding a gun to her and Nirti's like, oh, you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. And was it Hammond that said, let me remind you that this is her mother.
Yeah.
And that look on Nirti's face was, oh.
Yeah. She will do it. I like how they did that, because I feel like it's a trope in shows where you have the morally upright good character who gets pushed to the limit, and they have the villain at gunpoint, and the villain is taunting them, saying they're not going to do it, and then they don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I like that they didn't go that direction with it, because that's usually how those play out.
They definitely implied that, yes, she would go there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Cassandra is not played by the previous Cassandra actress. No, but we do have a recurring or a returning guest star, I guess you could say, who'd played Allie previously from our favorite episode, Bane. Was it called Bane?
Bane.
The one, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I read that the original actress was on another show and they couldn't.
Oh, okay.
They couldn't get her.
Yeah, it did seem like she'd been aged up, but I don't know if. I mean, it's probably because I'm watching the show in a compressed amount of time, so it's really been that many years. But
well, it's
4
right? years,
years,
yeah. And I think she was supposed to be early teens-ish to begin with, wasn't she?
Or 11, I think.
11 or 12, yeah.
So that would, 97 to 2001. 4 years.
Yeah, that lines up.
Yeah. So I mean, 15 or 16 would be the guess. Her cake, though, I think was like 14 candles.
14 candles. Yeah, it was the whole decoration of like they're not having a birthday party. I guess they're just having Sam over, but Dr. Fraser like decorated the whole house and like put party streamers and
I've been that mom. I'm just saying.
Well, and then they go outside and she's decorated the outside of the house too.
Maybe not.
Like over the front door and stuff. There's birthday decorations. There's balloons tied everywhere and stuff. And there's no party going on. It's just, Cassandra's going out with her friends. But yeah, she could have stayed for a piece of cake.
Yeah, she should have invited the dude in.
Yeah.
There you go.
My headcanon is she decorated for the party to try to convince her to stay for a party, and it just didn't work because she's a teenager.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I did like that.
That works.
What are you wearing? Whole section right there. That was great.
Yeah.
Go put on something that Sam bought you. That was good.
You've
They
never
don't
had that
really-
conversation, have you, with your kids?
Your grandmother's coming over. Can you go put on something that she bought you?
Put on the ugly sweater she gave you last Christmas. Who cares? No.
I like how natural all the actors are with the child characters they have on the show. Like every single time they've done it, like they've felt genuine and it hasn't felt awkward or weird. So that's been good to see.
Yeah, they do have a really good chemistry with the
Mhm.
child and teenage actors.
Until they start spinning chess pieces around
Yeah.
with their mind. But
Only
yeah,
she didn't have
Yeah.
her head spinning. Her head didn't start spinning around all of The Exorcist.
yeah,
That's
that's a
right.
good reference. Yeah, the reference to The Exorcist in
That's
this
right.
one.
Until that happens.
Yeah.
I like Jack's explanation for how she was able to do it with the magnets. The way he
But I
says
think that's
it's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
but
which
it
is
Oh, it was
weird.
right.
yeah.
Yeah, which is
Well,
weird. I was like, wait, is that right? Jack said it. It can't be right.
Well, and
Well,
then
you
he
saw
goes,
all their
I got it
faces.
right.
yeah.
They're all
I
just
got it right. Right?
well, and you remember it was at Window of Opportunity that he said magnets. And
yeah.
so
Yeah.
now he uses magnets. This is only this time it was I'll go with y'all's explanation that it was right. All of their faces were so cute. They were just like, did he just say that?
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there and he ends up being
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like that we've gotten to see more of the characters' lives outside of the SGC in this season. Like we had got to see Sam's house and everything in that one episode. Can't remember the name of it. Wasn't a great episode, which is probably why I can't remember the name of
Ascension.
it. But Ascension. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see that it really fleshes them out more. So I'm hoping we're going to get more of that.
So if Sam plays like chess with Cassandra every Saturday that she's on World, does that mean that Orlin was watching her play
Oh gosh.
chess with Cassandra?
That just
Let's
makes
just
it
make it
even
more creepy, why
creepier.
don't we?
Yeah.
Maybe she went over to the house and Orlin did not come. But
Yeah,
knowing
maybe he's-
Orlin, he
Yeah.
probably did.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he was already corporeal, so he was stuck.
Yeah.
He was just crying in the corner of the house.
Yeah. That's when he was that's when he was on her computer learning how to speak.
Yeah, he was reading her diary.
He was on
Yeah.
eBay ordering all the metal.
Stuff for
All
the
the parts,
Stargate.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But it's also I don't know how this would work in real life or in the military or whatever, but the way that General Hammond, it seems like, and maybe he did call the higher ups, but it seems like he unilaterally made the decision to come to that agreement with Nirti to free her in exchange
Mhm.
for healing Cassandra. So
I assume he made his he was the one that made that choice.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. If
'cause
Colonel
he
Simmons,
didn't say that I
yeah.
called the Pentagon or got on the red phone with the president or anything like that. He's just like, I've been thinking about it and yeah, we'll let you go.
Mhm.
Yeah, and if Colonel Simmons or Mayborn or NID actually aren't on the base, he's pretty free to do whatever he wants. It's only when they show up that he has to
Mhm.
threaten to call the Pentagon.
We've
Yeah.
had a lot of that lately, so it
Yeah.
was good to see him be in charge and make the decision.
Well, he is the commander and he is a 2-star general. I mean, that's not exactly a low rank in the military.
Right.
And it was cool too to see Teal'c actually take his side and not be like, she reminds me of that girl who gave me a squirt gun. We must save her life. He's like, Teal'c is like, yeah, no, we can't let Nirti go, even if it costs this girl her life. Sorry.
Mhm.
And so it was good. I mean, this is another episode where Teal'c gets like 2 lines, but
Yeah.
that was I thought good to have somebody agreeing with General Hammond, and they had to do that, I guess, so it wasn't just like everybody like all taking the same side.
Well, and if you think about it, Daniel really didn't have much to do in this episode either.
No.
I mean, he and Teal'c had the whole weird, awkward walk through the lab, Actually, more Teal'c, I think, than Daniel. Well,
Yeah.
But he really, besides that one kind of weird encounter with Frasier in the hallway.
Oh, you mean the Daniel Janet ship?
Yeah. So my question's about
one
that.
hand.
This what I'm
Yeah, because he's like holding her hands and he's like, I'm there for you. And-
It really almost looked like at some point that they were considering that.
yeah.
I mean, and this is kind of the residual of that, was that one scene. Because that was much more than, we're just friends. That was like, there's something more there.
Yeah.
I
But that's
totally
like the
missed
only, we rarely even see them in a scene together.
Mm-hmm.
Usually everyone else is interacting with Frasier. So it was kind of,
It was just weird. Yeah.
yeah.
Where in the episode was this? Was this before or after? What? I
It's
totally
when
missed.
It was when they brought Cassandra in and she was still sick and they didn't have a resolution to it yet.
Mhm.
Like he's
Mhm.
comforting
Coordinating.
her in the hall and he holds her hand for a long time and is like patting her back and
Oh, okay.
It was like a 30-second scene that,
yeah.
just seemed more significant than it probably was. But
He's got Janet fever, and the only cure
Yeah.
is more Janet, I guess.
yeah, that didn't work.
No,
Does Cassandra need a stepdad?
yeah.
Yeah, so I'd be interested to know if they were considering, if it was like one of those, if the actors kind of went that way, or it was a Peter DeLuise episode. I mean,
Yeah.
or it was one of those like, let's just throw them this little scene and see what happens,
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
get them
they
distracted
seeded
from
out
Sam
there.
Jack thing, right?
Yeah.
I wish we got to see more of Janet in the show. I really like her character. Like I think it would be fun to see her go off world more.
Oh, she does.
She does.
Oh, good.
And
Yeah, anyways. We'll see a lot more of her
Spoiler.
in season 7.
Oh,
But
no.
anyways,
I think I know where you're going with this.
yeah. But no. And yeah, so yeah, she's great. The camera angle where she's holding the 45 or whatever on near T, and they like zoom right in on her and stuff like this.
Yeah.
They run up on her with the camera. That was really cool. That was an awesome scene. I like that one. But even after so Hammond so she's in there and there's 4 airmen with pistols pointing at her, and Hammond says stand down, and the 2 behind him do, but the other 2 in front are still holding their
Mhm.
weapons on her. So I don't know. Maybe they just really don't like her or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah,
She was a little too aggressive with that looking in their eye thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
she does do that a lot. But yeah, no, lots of really good scenes with Sam and Cassandra. I like the whole, I see you, and it's like, oh really? You don't see me as a mutant freak with superpowers? And I thought her electromagnetic powers should have damaged more of the base, because they still put her in a room and it's well, you're in this room. I guess it's shielded from the rest of the base, but she didn't blow up the computers in there. And
Well, I was actually kind of surprised with that, because you notice they had the old monitors.
Yeah.
And but of course they put the old monitors in there so it could have the RF interference.
You can need
But
to
I figured,
degauss those
because it had
afterwards.
been a while since I've seen this episode, and it's I figured, these 2 monitors are the sacrificial lambs. They're gonna get blown out at some point. Nope, they just did the little, staticky image.
You just got to degauss them afterwards and they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, too bad Cassandra can't just touch them and stuff and have that run her hand over it and degauss them. Yeah.
I was thinking
Did you ever
of-
do those magnets that you would put they had those core, the steel core, or those magnets? Did you ever try to put one on a drill and degauss your monitor that way?
No,
You're supposed to put them
remember-
on a drill so they'd spin around, and then you go over your monitor
I just hit the button that says degauss.
Yeah, I don't know, but some people used to do that.
One time, one of my younger brothers, this was years and years ago when we still had a CRT monitor, he got a magnet. He was 4 or 5, and he rubbed it all over the TV and destroyed the TV. So I spent 2 hours doing the thing where you kind of try to grab it and pull it off the screen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was not fun.
Like those toys with like the mustache and like it's metal filings.
Basically,
and you have the
yeah.
magnet and try to draw the
Green
mustache.
blobs.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
So
CRTs
on the
bouncing.
planet, they really went all out with the planet scene and everything. They're out in the woods, it's dark, and they really used a high-tech indicator of how to get into the base. Glow in the dark handprint.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they use like basically blacklight reactive paint in like a handprint. So they probably had like some underlings, some crewman who had to dip his hand in that paint and just stick it on the tree.
Yeah, you have to think about from like these are teenagers that go off into the woods because they're called there to have like the mind virus or whatever removed, and or whatever it is. And so you have to think like what would draw their attention and how would they know how to activate the entrance to the lab. So, but it's like, why aren't other people from the village just like constantly wandering into her lab?
Well, that's why she killed them all.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
And how did like SG whatever not discover it? Like 11 or 3 or whatever, SG6.
Because they're
whatever.
not SG1.
That's true.
There
Yeah.
you go.
They probably went through during the day.
Yeah, good point. Yep. There you go. That's it.
Pretty much, yeah.
It did kind of remind me of Hansel and Gretel.
Mm-hmm.
The
I can
breadcrumbs.
see that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it was supposed to or not, but that's what they were telling the story. And that's what I kept thinking of Hansel and Gretel, going to the woods and being attracted to the cottage made of candy and seeing this handprint and then the fire and being attracted to it. And then.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I do like the design of the lab. It's always fun to watch shows, and you don't really get this as much now anymore because everything can be 3D printed or, you can fabricate things that look much less like everyday objects, but it's always fun to look in these older shows and see like what everyday items they have turned into the pieces of whatever high-tech thing.
Oh, yeah.
Classic Doctor Who was really good for that. Like you would just see children's toys just like on tables as like something futuristic or something. And that was the cool thing too about Next Generation is like they would get those special mugs, like those travel mugs that had like the wide bottoms and then like, they tapered up to the top. And I would watch specials about where the people who dressed the sets would just talk about like where they found this stuff and all this really cool stuff. And
I found one at a thrift store a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I was very happy.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think they were for putting on the dashboard of your car. So like you
Mhm.
could drive and they wouldn't like slide around. You could just reach up. This is before there were cup holders because cars didn't always have cup holders.
Well, then the glassware on Voyager was it Bodium? Was that the company that makes the really modernist glassware? And it was just literally right out of their catalog. So Hollywood's really good at doing that. And of course, there's stories of all these different productions of, oh yeah, that was this kind of weapon or this kind of toy or something we just found at the store. Yeah,
one of my favorite YouTube channels is it's called Create Sci-Fi. So sci-fi spelled SCIFI. So Create Sci-Fi, and it's this independent filmmaker out in Los Angeles who just like he's just sitting in his garage and he shows you how he makes all the props for his films out of like stuff that he spent $20 on at Home Depot or Harbor Freight, and all of his different painting techniques and stuff. And it's a really fun channel.
Oh, nice! I'll have to check that out. I love that kind of thing.
Yeah, kit bashing and stuff, and
well, I love the little devices they find in her base there, and they almost look like torture devices.
Yeah,
they
do.
Are. That's the sad part. There's that one where it's got all the spikes off of it and everything, and it's like
we call this one the gouger. Yeah,
yeah.
This one.
But then of course we've got the little tricorder thing in the palm scanner or whatever that she uses to heal them.
Oh yeah.
So I was wondering because we've seen Sam use gold technology, and didn't she use something to heal someone like back in like season 1? I know she used like the mind device.
She did use the healing thing.
Yeah,
but
I don't remember if she was successful.
Yeah, because wasn't that she was having trouble with it? She wasn't able to do it.
Yeah, they kind of never went anywhere with that.
I think they purposely didn't want it to be used, like a crutch, kind of like the sarcophagus, why they never have one around.
Right.
Right.
But I did think of that in this one, that surely it's still at Area 51 somewhere. Like, go get it.
Well, they ended up getting the one from Nurti anyways, so.
Yeah.
And I think you'd also kind of like, if you're dealing with like a virus, you'd have to kind of know like what RNA or whatever you manipulated in the first place to fix it. It's kind of like, that thing could be used to like heal a broken bone. That would probably be pretty easy. But if you're like rewriting like, RNA of a virus or something, that you probably have to know like what you did to undo it. I don't think there's just like one setting that just goes like heal. I think it's a little, maybe more nuanced than that.
Heal now.
Perhaps, yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to know if Cassandra's going to have to get like 3 or 4 boosters after this.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I think this one worked.
Yeah.
It did take 2 tries,
yeah.
though. It did take 2 tries.
That's
so
true.
That's true.
That's right.
And so do we see Cassandra again after this, or is this her exit?
This was it.
Mm.
We hear about her. Like, they reference her,
Okay.
but we don't ever see her again. So that kind of makes me sad.
Yeah. Kind of like the first season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when they were like talking up like how these people would interact like with the Avengers and all like the Marvel like superheroes, and they would get like a call from Thor or something, and that would be
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Or they'd hear, oh yeah, do you hear what happened in New York? Oh yeah, that was terrible. Anyways.
That was terrible. I wonder what their end game is.
Oh.
Or something. But,
Oh.
but anyways, no, it wasn't. But yeah, they do a lot of that, just name checking. But
We can assume that Cassandra's hanging out at the same school with all the other kids they've brought back.
yeah,
Exactly.
Through the Stargate.
for gifted and talented
Professor X's school.
That's right.
exceptional.
That's the premise of the new Stargate show.
Oh no.
Oh, don't encourage him.
Stargate High.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's going to be on the
they've been
CW,
rumoring that
I'm
for
sure.
Star Trek, so why not Stargate?
Right.
So I was thinking, because we do see her, like you mentioned, we see her in 1969. I would assume that that's because she survives here, because otherwise we wouldn't see that. But it'd be interesting to see if they had touched upon that at all, which I don't think they mentioned that.
Mm-mm.
No. Oh yeah, like if you die now, do we ever make it back?
Yeah.
Or is there like a Bootstrap Paradox or something going on there?
They could have even
Alternate.
talked about like maybe she does become like the perfect host, like advanced human, and that's why she's able to help us in the future. And do we take that risk? Like, but they don't bring anything like that. It's fun to think about, though. I do want to see more like of the characters' civilian lives. I like that we're getting that. It adds a lot of depth to them, and I know that Teal gets an apartment at some point, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I feel like in these kind of mid-season or mid of the 10 seasons, right in the middle that where we are, they do a little bit more Earthbound episodes. And so we get to see them a little more in their regular clothes and undercover and doing things and their houses, apartments. We're going to see more of Jack's houses and lake, and,
Yeah.
His fishing pond.
Fishing, yeah. I can't remember if Daniel, we see another house of his apartment.
Yeah, they can't make up their mind what apartment Daniel lives in.
Mm-mm.
I wonder if he forgets to pay his rent because he's always off planet. And so he gets kicked out.
Yeah. And I can't remember if when we see Sam, I can't remember what season it is where she has the long-term boyfriend that we always are seeing at the house, if it's the same house. I can't remember. So, but we do get to see them more at home.
If you do know, leave us a reply in the
Yeah.
comments, and you can post addresses in Vancouver where we could potentially visit these places someday.
Exactly.
It's on
Do a
my
Stargate
list to go there
pilgrimage.
sometime. Yeah. That'd be great. Oh, I looked up, we had a actor in this episode who was in a former episode. That was one of our favorites. Absolute favorites. It was
Who is that?
Dominic, who played the superstar kisser.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was in One False Step.
Oh, was he really?
He was one of the guys with the zipper.
No way. He was one of the white people in that episode?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Oh, he was a little white. He was a little white person.
He was a little one. They gave him a name, Joe. He was Joe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's him. Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of him now. Yep.
That's funny.
He's wearing a onesie.
I'm sure he's much happier with his costume in this episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Awesome. Did y'all have any other thoughts on this episode?
Nothing here. Other than we should mention, there's no ramifications to Janet's actions. Nothing happens to her. As expected.
I'm okay with that, though.
Yeah, she saved everybody's life. Yeah.
I was just going to tell Rothery, that plays Janet Fraser, she's been in so many things since then and all that, but I really thought she did an excellent job showing that angst of a mother, with a child that's sick and all of that. And so she does give us, there's several episodes where she gets to show off her acting chops. And so just give her a thumbs up, because I thought this was a good, what little she gets to do of that. This was a good job.
Yeah, no, she was great. Awesome. We do have some feedback on our episode Ascension. AM on YouTube says that him reascending is different from Daniel. Orlin was a human who ascended on his own without help, so presumably he can do it again at will. I didn't know Daniel ascended, so I'm going to just go with that. But
you'll find that out soon enough.
Yeah.
Just spoiler for later.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a 25-year-old show. Spoiler tags don't apply at this point.
Nope.
So I thought Daniel just got really buff. Does he get buff then ascend, or is it the other way around?
Well, he's kind of getting there now, but that's definitely post Ascension.
Yeah.
He comes back buff.
He gets very naked first.
Yeah. I think when he agreed to come back, when they worked out his contract, it was probably in there somewhere, gets to show off his muscles a little more.
He goes from like regular t-shirts to cut off shirts all the time, muscle shirts.
Oh, he becomes that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
From nerd to jock.
Yeah. There you go.
Now, did we have any fun episode titles for this one, Victor?
Yeah, a lot of like Rite of Initiation type titles. In Italian, though, we get Fire of the Mind, Fuoco della Mente, which I thought was good because it is kind of like a mind fire, and I thought that Teenager Mind Fire would be a pretty good name for a band.
Is that an emo band?
Yeah, it's an emo band. And then in German, we get Rite of Passage, but that's Das Übergangsritual, which
it's like a death metal band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of band names going on here, but it is, I'm glad that the foreign languages took some liberties with the title here, because they hadn't been doing a lot of that lately. So I'm glad they got on it.
Helping us out there.
Yeah.
They're all synonyms, but they're fun.
Yeah.
Other than Fire of the Mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Before we go, we'd like to take a moment to thank our patrons who make it possible for us to create The Secrets of Stargate, including Jack W., Lenny B., Sam F., Rachel F., and David K. Their generous donations at sqpn.com/give make it possible for us to continue The Secrets of Stargate and all the shows at StarQuest. And you can join them by visiting sqpn.com/give, and be sure to follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or on the SQPN YouTube channel. To find previous episodes of Secret of Stargate and to send feedback, please visit sqpn.com/Stargate. And you can email us at stargate@sqpn.com, or follow StarQuest on social media at facebook.com/StarQuestMedia, or on Twitter at SQPN. We'll be back next time when we'll be discussing the next episode of SG-1. Until then, Father Cory, thank you for joining me in sharing the Secrets of Stargate.
Thank you, Jack.
And Lisa Jones, thank you as well.
Thanks, Jack.
And Victor Lambs, thank you too.
Thanks, Jack. I couldn't finish the harvest. I have to go into the forest.
Everyone's got to once in a while. I get that. Once again, I'm Jack Baruzzini. Thank you for listening to The Secrets of Stargate on StarQuest.
Anyway, I'm sorry, but that just happens to be how I feel about it. What do you think?